G'day from Hotel Quarantine in Perth. This is my best of 2021 video. I was away this year for 286 days. I was immersed in Formula One, and in this video I'm going to share all of my best moments with you in 8 seconds time. Before I run through my best moments, let me tell you a bit about this year's journey. I left Perth on March the 4th, heading to Dubai, overnight there and then on to Bahrain for the first race of the year and testing. Then back to Dubai and then a connection through to Bologna for the Imola race. After that, it was off to Lisbon via Frankfurt for the Portimao Grand Prix. Then it was a direct flight back to Barcelona for the Spanish GP. On then to Nice for the Monaco race. Then to Baku via Istanbul in May. In June I headed back to Nice via Moscow and Paris for the French Grand Prix. Then it was Nice to Vienna for the first of the two Austrian races. Then I had to get out of the Schengen region, so I headed to Tirana for a few nights. Then back to Vienna just to cover the second race. Then it was out of Schengen again to Bucharest to kill some time. Next up, British Grand Prix flying into Luton. Headed out of Heathrow to Dubrovnik for the month off. Then ended up going Split to Zagreb, Zagreb to Brussels for the Belgian Grand Prix. Once again, having to escape the Schengen area, I visited Dublin for 2 nights, then headed to Amsterdam for the Dutch Grand Prix, then to Milan for the Italian Grand Prix, and then it was off to Moscow via Vienna for a week of R&R before heading to Sochi for that race. Next up, Sochi to Istanbul, Istanbul to Dallas for the US Grand Prix, Houston to Mexico for the Mexican GP, and then one of the longest flights of the year, 10 hours to Sao Paulo for just 3 nights, and then the longest flight of the year, a 15-hour journey back to Dubai, and then a connection through to Doha. After that it was off to Jeddah, then it was back to Dubai for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last race of the year, and then a 10-hour flight home to Perth. 26 countries, 33 hotels, 9 Airbnbs and 1 yacht. 300 total days away from my kids, 286 away from Australia, and 109 since I last saw my wife when she came to Europe mid-year. Straight up, the best hotels I stayed at, the Dubrovnik Palace in Croatia. Just stunning, huge room overlooking the water, none better. What about hotels during race weekends? There are 3 that stood out to me. 1, the Mondrian Hotel in Doha, just superb, a real joy to be at. The Kempinski Hotel for atmosphere, some 400 to 800 people outside the hotel each night waiting drivers. That's in Budapest. And another hotel for great atmosphere was the Hyatt in Mexico City. And the best value hotel? Hotel 1882 Barcelona. Best Airbnb? Well, I rented one in Lisbon that was stunning, had a balcony half the size of a tennis court that overlooked one of the main squares. I'd go back there any day of the week. Best flight of the year? Probably my flight back to Australia on the Emirates A380, went first class. There were just 25 people on the flight and I was getting to come home, albeit to hotel quarantine. What were my best-selling photos this year? Well, they all came from Monaco. 3 of them were the Gulf oil liveried McLarens coming out of the tunnel. Lando outselling Daniel 2.5 to 1, but all of them great sellers. And thereafter, it was this picture, once again in the tunnel of Charles Leclerc. What about my Instagram posts? I went from 135,000 to 283,000 in the space of 12 months. And my biggest post was Sebastian Vettel picking up rubbish after the Silverstone race. 73,000 likes. Next up, George Russell in a suit at the last race of the year. Another George picture, and this I could not believe, 52,000 likes for George having lunch during testing. Lando's first pole position in Russia, 51,000. Toto and Christian coming out of the Abu Dhabi press conference during the last race. Valtteri and Tiffany leaving the track, 49,000. Daniel's Monza win, 48,000. Lando and Carlos with the towel here in Jeddah. And then Charles holding this helmet, which was actually a promo for a giveaway from Bell Helmets. Best race? Yeah, for me, it's a tie between Baku and the last race in Abu Dhabi. I'd probably go with Baku in a pinch because you had Max spinning and Lewis not taking that first corner on the restart. But Abu Dhabi was just amazing. Being that close to the action, 1 lap to go, and being with the crowd and hearing their huge roar when Max overtook Lewis, that was an amazing memory. My best emotional moment for me, Daniel winning the Italian Grand Prix, because That was the first time I'd heard the Australian national anthem play in a goodly long time, and it was a thrill to be on the track amongst a handful of photographers photographing Daniel with his emotion and his shoey and his shoe off shot here. Favourite driver? Yeah, I'm going to leave that to the end. Best car that the drivers drove to the track? I think this one was the standout. Valtteri's AMG GT, which he drove to Monza. But then you've got cars like Lando's Brabus G-Wagon that he drove in Abu Dhabi. You've got an NSX in Silverstone. Both of the Red Bull drivers drove these NSXs. And who could go past Daniel's purple McLaren 720S? Convertible, sensational on a warm day in Britain, and it was a joy to photograph the man coming in that. In terms of my best car for the year, without a doubt, it was a BMW that I rented in Austin, Texas, and had it for 19 days. The best people this year for me? These people made my life a whole lot easier, both at the track with great photographers like these fellows, and then away from the track, some great new friends that I met. So thank you to all those people for being there for me throughout 2021. Favourite race to shoot? I get asked this perpetually when I do my live streams. Monaco. Why? Because it offers so much colour, so much glamour, so many opportunities. The light's normally beautiful, and it's just an amazing place. Yes, the racing's not too flash, but from my side of things, from photography, there is no better race. And of course, the track is so compact, you can get from one end to the other in a 10-minute walk. Best food this year? Moscow. And I can't tell you why, I just remember Moscow being great. One particular restaurant was the She Moscow. Stunning food, great decor, great atmosphere. But then I also remember the takeaway Italian food in Imola. Oh, unbelievable. The best paddock for me? Bahrain. It's a great size. We're there at night, it's beautifully lit, and you get some great photo opportunities when you're allowed in the paddock. Best media centre? For location, Mexico's fantastic. It's right in the middle of the paddock. And in terms of layouts and luxury, probably the Abu Dhabi Media Centre. Best food at the track for us photographers? By a mile, Imola. Beautiful food, cooked fresh and served in a restaurant. The best crashes I saw this year? Well, I didn't see too many, but here's a handful. Yuki in France and Hungary. Carlos spinning past me once again, second last corner in Hungary. Kimi in Portugal coming to rest right in front of me. The melee at the first corner in Hungary, that was something to remember. And then there were the two big ones, Max and Lewis in Monza. Max ending up on top of Lewis's car, and the collision of George and Valtteri at the Imola race. Now, I had just packed up a bag and walked 5 or 6 seconds away to another spot when I look up and see these cars smashing into the outside barrier, veering across the track and coming to rest in the gravel. Luckily, I was able to get back to that photo window and shoot the aftermath, but boy, I was so close to getting an amazing photo. Best crowd? The Dutch. Boy, were they on song at Zandvoort. Singing, chanting, celebrating. That was a real sight to see. And if you get the chance to go to one race and you want great atmosphere, tell you what, you won't do better than Zandvoort. Best celebrities? I love David Beckham, always have. I shot Ben Stiller. Harrison Ford, one of my favourites. Met him in Silverstone. And one of the most controversial celebrities is this woman, who created quite a stir on my Instagram posts. Love her or hate her, she certainly has a large following. Best dressed driver? You'd have to say Lewis. I know that sometimes people don't like what he wears, but he is out there in terms of fashion. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday this year, almost every race he came in something different. It gave me as a photographer something to shoot and write about, but it also entertained you, I'm certain. Best traffic? Portugal. There wasn't a car on the road. That was one of our races without spectators early in the season, and it was a joy going to and from the track. The worst traffic? Mexico. An hour and 22 to go about 15 to 20 kilometres after the Friday night's events. Best spot to shoot? I'm going to pick two here. The exit of swimming pool here in Monaco, when we get so close to the cars, and the other spot that is undeniably fantastic, the bottom of Eau Rouge, where they come past you at crazy speeds, and in the wet, you get remarkable photos. Best friendships on track? You'd have to say Charles and Pierre, all the time on the drivers' parades. You'll see the two of them gravitate towards each other for a chat. Lando and Carlos, so many opportunities this year to shoot this great pairing. And finally, Pierre and Antonio, seen here with Pierre knocking away the Netflix microphone because they were wanting to have a private chat. And finally, my favourite driver, I'd have to say, great guy, talented and good fun. That's my best of for 2021. It's been an amazing year, and I'm certainly glad I left the safety of Australia to have a crack at travelling the world during COVID times, because it was a risk. I had 2 flights cancelled on me at the last minute. That caused some concern, but I always worked my way around it. I had about 50 PCR tests throughout the year, all of them negative. And yet I'm still stuck in this hotel room here for 14 nights in Perth, Australia. If you've enjoyed this video, can you please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not done so? My members get a range of free things, including wallpapers and raw images, discounts, exclusive videos. Become a member if your country allows it. You'll find all of my digital images at prostarpics.com, including those best photos that I told you about. And if you want to search those tunnel photos, simply type in the search bar Lando Tunnel or Daniel Tunnel or Charles Tunnel. Get an F1 photo book. I've just done a new Yuki Tsunoda book. You'll find them at kimillman.com, along with a range of merchandise. And for my best images live from the track next year and all during the week in the off-season, head to Instagram at Kim Illman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate.